everybody. Anderson Johnson here, the creator of Fortitude Rap, and I want to welcome you back to the Fortitude Rap YouTube channel. I want to thank you all for your continuous support. And before even all of that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what type of the day it is, what time of the day it is when you're watching this video. But let's go ahead and get into the message. So this message is about accountability. I did this video once. If you've been following me on Instagram, I did this video once back in 2019. I think it's one of the first videos I did. One of the first actual videos I did or recorded. But I think I did this back in 2019, and since then I've had a new or more informed or more experienced, more knowledgeable view on accountability. And just to clear one thing up, I feel like accountability and responsibility are two different things. Reason being, because responsibility is a obligation placed on you by yourself or someone else. That's just the obligation. But accountability is your availability to be able to own up to the result that comes out of your actions when fulfilling the responsibility that you or someone else placed upon you. Okay, so responsibility is an obligation. Accountability is the availability to accept the result as a response to what you did while carrying out the responsibility that you carried out. So, just to reiterate one more time, responsibility is an obligation. Accountability is the acceptance of the result. The obligation and the acceptance of the result. Okay, so we got that cleared up. Accountability is literally, a great sense of accountability is literally one of the key and most important characteristics or qualities that someone can have when on their road to success. And that's because when you can be held accountable, when you can hold yourself accountable, you allow yourself to be in a position to learn and understand what it is that could have A, gotten you a better result, or B, gotten you the result that you wanted to get in the first place. Because you could have missed the mark by a little bit and gotten a better result, or you could have just literally not even hit the mark. So it allows you to be able to open up, to be able to understand what it is to be able to do better in a certain situation. And accountability is so pertinent because with the raise in level of accountability that you take upon yourself, or that someone else puts upon you or expects from you, your authority also rises. And your authority rises because when you can hold yourself accountable, you learn to control yourself, your actions, your thoughts, the words that come out of your mouth, and the things that happen as a result of that. When you're in that position, literally you close the gap you close the window, you minimize the amount of people that can tell you about yourself. Because when you hold yourself accountable, you already know 9 times out of 10 what they're going to say or what you could have done better, because you've already taken the time to reflect on the situation, understand what happened, understand the outcome, and compare that outcome to the expected outcome, and then look at where you could have done better, what your actions you could have taken to personally make the outcome better. And that's whether you're doing it by yourself and you're doing it solo dolo, or if you're in a team. So accountability erases the amount of people who can come in and tell you about yourself, because a lot of people who tell you about yourself don't even know you that well. They just know the situation that you have encountered or the situation that they've witnessed you encounter. They don't know all of the situations in the past, nor do they know about the situation you will encounter in the future, nor do they know about your goal and where you've come from. So at the end of the day, when you hold yourself accountable, your authority rises because you have more sense of self. And someone who knows you or someone who doesn't know you and is trying to get to know you will observe the sense of self that you have, and the authority that you carry because you know yourself will then erase everything that they thought they could predetermine about you, because now now that you have a sense of authority and now that you have a sense of accountability, they now have to sit back and watch and understand what exactly that it is that they're getting into when they're coming to interact with you. They have to understand how to navigate the space, because someone who's in control of themselves can't be easily rattled, can't be easily told anything. That person that understands themselves has done enough research to be knowledgeable and can at that point impart anything that they want that's right for the situation into the situation to get a change out of it whenever they encounter it again. But someone who is not able to hold themselves accountable, who doesn't like, taking responsibility, or not even taking responsibility, let me say that word out there, who doesn't like accepting the outcome that they have and then wants to blame on somebody else, they're going to be able to be told anything, because whatever it takes, they're going to change it. But they're not going to take the time to understand that it wasn't necessarily somebody else's fault completely if they're in a team, and they should look at what they could have done better. Like, there are plenty of times where I look back on my high school football playing days and I'm like, dang, I could have did that better. But yeah, I wanted to blame somebody else. Or I could have been like, dang, I could have did this better in the classroom, but I wanted to blame a group mate. Or dang, I could have did this better in whatever else I'm doing, but I wanted to blame somebody else. And the thing is, it's easy to blame somebody else because they're there in the environment with you. It's so easy because you feel like, because it's 4 or 5 people in your group, that it couldn't just have been your fault. So when someone says you could have done this better, you're going to look at what mistake they made. And that's, yeah, you're going to do that. But at the end of the day, before you even point out a mistake somebody else made, look at what you could have done better. Look at what you could have did better. Because 9 times out of 10, if there are more people in the group saying you could have done this better, that means your part of the project, your part of the whatever, was probably one of the most important parts, and it wasn't done to its best level. Take that, be like, I understand, thank you. And then later on down the road, be like, yeah, I did do this wrong, but at the same time, you could have done this too. And then that way you're holding each other accountable. But be able to accept what it is that you be able to accept be able to accept the result of what it is and your part in the outcome. So many people want to blame everybody. And I'm going to be honest with you. Once I stopped blaming people for the things that was going on around me and understanding that I had a part in what was going on too, and I just looked at my part and stopped looking at their part, man, at that point, my growth took off. I'm talking about shot up. Like, it was here, it was linear, and then it hit exponential. And when you hit exponential growth, man, it's so much that changes and happens in a time frame that you have to sit back and take time to reflect and be like, bro, I did not even expect this to happen. I never would have saw this happening in the way that it did. But you first got to be able to take accountability. You got to control yourself. You got to. Because when you control yourself, others will be able to learn how to control themselves around you. Because your sense of self will put them in a mind frame to understand that he's not going to accept anything to come into his space and allow it to shake and rattle him. So I'm going to go ahead and get right, because I can't allow any shaking and rattling of myself either. You're going to attract that to yourself. But that's the essence of accountability. Accept the result of what it is, and accept your part in the outcome, in that result. Like, if you don't want to accept any responsibility, continue to blame somebody. But understand, you're not going to grow anywhere. You're not going to go anywhere if you continue to blame everybody else. Because you're only going to be looking at everybody else to fit you and your current state, and they're going to be growing and leaving you behind. But if you can look at you and grow yourself and understand where you need to change, then those people will gravitate to you because you've taken that growth, or B, remove themselves from you because they can't get with your growth, and they won't be able to understand it. But at the end of the day, they probably want to come back around because they want to be in the area that you are now that they've seen you increase a level. But accountability, man. This video was longer than I expected, but accountability is very important to me because it took me a long time to be accountable. It took me a long time to increase in accountability. It took me a long time to be able to understand accountability. And then once I understood that, my level of self-authority increased and my authority in other realms increased as well. So with that being said, hold yourself accountable. Learn how to take accountability for whatever it is. Yes, be responsible. Be responsible. Accept the task, accept the obligation. But also accept the result. And accept your part of the result. And understand where you could have done better to make the result better. It all starts with you. It all starts with you. 2021, it all starts with you. So with that being said, quality thoughts, quality life. Live, love, and learn. And until next time.